I ran a marathon. I did it, and it was hard. So I know I already made a video about the marathon. If you haven't seen it, I could either link in the description or put it up in the iCard up here. Make sure you watch that first because it gives like the conclusive story of what went down. Today I just want to break down like how I felt mile per mile. I know it's been like 3 weeks since I posted anything. I've just been trying to take some time off, trying to relax, kind of messed up my ankle in the meantime. So just trying to chill, which is really hard for me. I want to just get out and smash miles. But anyway, yeah, my gear for that day, I rocked my long sleeve New Balance shirt and my short 3-inch shorts and had some half tights underneath them just because I knew it was going to be cold, and was rocking gloves and a winter hat. I was wearing gloves, right? Yeah. Yes.
The ones with the fingers cut off?
No, I was wearing gloves. I was wearing gloves the whole time. I knew it was going to be really cold. It was a high of 37 that day, which is in Celsius, that's like 2 to 3 degrees. It was very cold and very windy. There were wind gusts up to 25 miles an hour. So I went with my new racing shoes, the Saucony Endorphin Pro. I know the Saucony Endorphin Speed is really popular right now. That's more for middle distance, like anywhere from 5K to half marathon. And then this is their newest sort of marathon shoe with the carbon fiber plate. Love these things, especially the thing I love about them. If you see kind of the build on this, it's got like a really curved toe at the front. So when you're standing in them, it actually feels like it's pushing you forward. So I definitely feel the effects of that when I'm running. The spring, like they call it the speed roll on the inside. I don't know if you could see that. Oh, yeah, speed roll. I'm assuming that they're talking about that little curvature in the toe there. That mixed with the carbon fiber plate and the stack height of this shoe, I just love it. It makes me feel so fast. I actually just did my fastest 8 mile ever the other day in these shoes at 6:16 per mile. Really pumped with them, but I'm actually really excited to check out, the most popular shoe, the Vaporfly Next Percents. So I think I'll probably be getting a pair of those pretty soon and have them ready to go for my next marathon. Anyway, the day started out really awesome, actually. Hanging out with Bean and Mike, them helping out, encouraging me. It was very helpful. They were on that like ridiculous, what's it called? A cargo bike. It was like an $8,000 cargo bike. Electric assisted, and Mike borrowed it from a friend, and so Bean got to sit in the bucket and film all of it, which was so cool, and they kind of swapped back and forth. The first 5 or 6 miles literally just felt so easy because I was so hyped and hopped up on adrenaline. Training up to that point, after you have a taper for a week or two where you start to taper off and slow down and not put as many miles on your legs, it just gets you really excited to like have a strong effort. So that was all planned and good, and so those first 6 miles just felt like I was floating. I was feeling very confident that I was going to break three hours, which was the ultimate goal. It's still my goal in all of marathon running. It wasn't until we got down to North Avenue Beach and just after that at Oak Street Beach where we had that crazy wave incident where, since it was so windy that day, the waves just came crashing up onto the path, and I found myself ankle and knee deep in the water.
Yep.
Catch me drifting behind.
That whole part of the race was really, really difficult to overcome psychologically. I was just feeling very down, with completely soaked shoes, water that went all the way up to my knees, legs completely soaked with 37-degree weather. I was feeling like there was no chance of me meeting my goal from that point on with that kind of, facing that kind of difficulty. So that mile, I actually started going too fast because I was so nervous. My adrenaline spiked like crazy. I had to actually calm down and slow my pace down again so I wasn't overexerting myself. And so we got into about mile 10 and 11, and that's the last point I had remembered to take water. And I believe that was actually like 9 or 10 was around the first time I ate something, which was a huge mistake because I should have been more worried about nutrition earlier on. And then that came to bite me later. Around mile 9 or 10, I took water and a honey stinger. But I think it was around mile 12 or 13 where I hadn't drinking any water or anything. And Mike and Bean got separated from me because of more water on the pavement. I took the lower path instead of the upper path on Lakeshore on the south side. So I was just completely alone from like mile 12 and a half all the way until like 17 and a half. So a good 4 or 5 miles I was alone. And that was another just insanely difficult part of the race, not just because I was alone. There were other parts. I had to do like 4 90-degree turns at this one section, and I had to run like 20 meters through sand to get up to the upper path. So psychologically, that was really tough to deal with. And I finally turned around at mile, I think it was 14 and a half or 14 and a quarter about, and I turned north, and that's when those 25-mile-an-hour gusts were hitting my face. Again, I was alone. I had no water. I was thinking psychologically it was really difficult because I was thinking that I wasn't going to see them again potentially, because if I went back down to the lower path, they might have thought that I was going to go back up to the upper path and we would have missed each other, and then they wouldn't be able to find me at any point all the way back up north. So I'm thinking all these things in my head, like I'm not going to see them again. I don't know when I'm going to get water again. I don't know if I'll get water again. So all those feelings start to creep in, like I might just have to stop and give up on this race, which is really difficult to do, to be locked in on you know, your pace and your goal when you're thinking all these things. Thankfully, I met up with them again at like 17 and a half, and I got water again, but it was probably 7 whole miles where I didn't eat or drink anything. And at this point, I hadn't really nourished my body at all. I hadn't been taking stingers. I hadn't been eating any goos or drinking enough water. Or what I realized later, supplementing with enough salt or electrolytes and balancing my hydration. So I didn't think I would need salt on this race because I only figured I would need salt if I was sweating a bunch. But after we came through Navy Pier in downtown again and I just missed the wave again on the Oak Street turn, and Mike and Bean got totally wrecked by it. We went through about mile 20 or 21, and that's when my quad and hamstring just completely seized on both legs, quad on the right leg, hamstring on the left leg. And I think that was directly tied to my lack of nutrition and my lack of hydration and salt intake.
Here.
You got it. Here when you're ready. You got it. You got it. You got it. Take what you need, your head. You got it.
We'll get it. We'll get it. We'll get it. We're coming. We're coming. We're coming. Got it.
Right. That's right. That is right. Right through it. You have it.
That's something I need to figure out in the coming months and into 2021 is I have never hit the wall that late in a marathon. This is my 4th marathon, and I always seem to hit it around 14 to 16 miles. And this time it took me all the way until 20 or 21, which is really encouraging, especially since my nutrition was not on point. My hydration was not on point for this race. So I'm thinking like my fitness is there. I just need to figure out that nutrition piece. And I feel like a new training block will fix that with better attention and care to the hydration and nutrition. Because that last 5 mile stretch, like I said in the prior video, I was just like dogging it. It was much faster than my slow miles in previous marathons. It was about 740, 750 pace per mile, but it was just an absolute mental battle that entire distance towards the end. And dealing with the muscles on edge with cramping until when I finally stopped at the track at the finish line, my right quad completely seized up again to the point where I couldn't even stand up straight. I was falling over. I had to have Mike helping me walk around the track and the inside on the grass there.
Dude, so close, man. So close. This is the last bit. This is the last bit. This is the last bit. Dude, you are kicking it right now. Yes! Yes! Yes, dude. Yes, dude. Yes! Fastest mile is the last mile, am I right?
That's it?
Yes! Keep walking, bud.
Water.
Wanna get up? Good.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Let's keep walking. Keep walking. We need to stretch. We can stretch. Just right, man. I got you.
Ooh, yeah. There you go.
New PR.
Oh, yeah.
Not sub 3.
Go.
3:05:23.
Dad! Mom, his Randall. Do you
Come on. Can you wrap me? Sorry, my body's just giving up.
Dad.
That's fair.
Dad.
Thank you.
You did it.
Yes!
All right, put it on. Let's let him walk, okay?
So huge learning lesson, but also just really encouraging. PRing by over 5 minutes on this one, even with terrible circumstances with weather and no good nutrition or balanced nutrition and hydration. It's although I didn't meet the goal, it's still really encouraging moving forward when I can work on those things and know what I need to work on in the next training block. This training block, I think my highest volume week, I did about 65 miles on that week. So my highest mileage weeks were about 50 to 65 miles. And I'm really interested in this next marathon training block, which will probably be March, April, May, or April, May into June, and hopefully running a June marathon. Getting my high mileage weeks up to 70 and 80 miles to just get more miles on the legs and doing more aerobic fitness, aerobic miles So I'm just getting more volume as opposed to more speed, and just sprinkling in those speed workouts, like 10 to 15% of my workouts doing tempo runs or fartleks or just different speed workouts, mile repeats, 2 mile repeats, 800, 400 track workouts, hills, that kind of stuff, just sprinkling those things in, while the highest volume is kind of sticking in that 145 to 150 BPM, beats per minute heart rate zone, the aerobic zone, on most of my runs that are high volume. So anything from 8 to 22 mile runs, and that being the majority of my working out. So that's the distant future in June. Hopefully this winter, I'm going to be trying a few different PRs, like a new mile PR, which I'll do. I know Dad Strides challenged a new mile challenge, I think on December 20th. So I'll probably be taking part on that if my ankle is rested up at that point. And then I also really want to send a half marathon PR and see what I can do with that. Like I said the other night, I did a new 8 mile PR at 6:16 average per mile, which was super exciting and encouraging. But I want to see if I can keep that speed and that pace through 13.1 and come out with, like, I don't know, maybe a 1:23 half marathon, hour 23, somewhere in that zone, and eventually working my way down to a sub 1:20 half marathon, I think would be the ultimate goal. So a lot of different things I'm excited about. I'd like to maybe try a 5K or a 10K PR. Just try all the things. I don't know. I hope this journey has been interesting and exciting for you. Thanks for following along and just encouraging me in all sorts of ways on my Instagram and on Strava and all those fun places where we can just keep up with our running. It's just been really cool to share in the journey, and I'm excited for all the new things coming up. So till the next time Floberg runs, I'll catch you there. See ya.